We're here in the Arizona Military Museum, and the museum is the military history of Arizona and Arizonans who served in the military. We start with the conquistadors. They were the first military in Arizona, and then the Spanish colonial period, then the U.S.-Mexican War, then the territorial days, the Indian Wars, you know, Geronimo and Cochise, etc. And then we have Bucky O'Neill and Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders, and then we have Pancho Villa, the Mexican border wars, and then we go to World War I, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Regarding World War II, we have a big model of the USS Arizona. Actually, we have three models in this museum of the Arizona. A small one, and then a bigger one that's over in the Bushmaster display for World War II. Bushmasters were the famous 158th Regimental Combat Team of World War II. And then we have a 5-foot model of the USS Arizona. Pearl Harbor Day is coming up. Remember to honor those who served at Pearl Harbor. We have upstairs the new wars. We have Iraq and Afghanistan, and we honor all the veterans from Arizona who served. I identify with a lot of these displays in here. My grandpa's helmet is there on the border when I was a little boy. He was in a unit called the U.S. Cavalry, 1st U.S. Cavalry. 50 years later, I was in a helicopter unit called the 1st U.S. Cavalry, 1st Air Cavalry. They used horses, we used helicopters. This helicopter actually served in Vietnam. It was shot several times. There are little patches over bullet holes. I went to the University of Arizona and took ROTC. This was in the 60s. The war was coming along, so I graduated from ROTC as a distinguished military graduate. I then went to Vietnam in 1968. I was assigned to the famous 1st Air Cavalry Division. It was the 1st Air Mobile Division that went to Vietnam. My platoon operated outside of Hue. I was involved with a big firefight February 27, 1968. My platoon was totally surrounded. I had 5 guys wounded that day. Thank goodness the medevacs were able to get in. I got them all out, and I came back. When it was all over, I went behind a tree and cried. It was so emotional, but I kept them all alive. We were in the trenches, we were totally surrounded, and I made up my mind that day that I would not lose any of my men, ever. And so at the end of the war, when I came home, and I kept a diary in this, and I noted it in there, I went through the bloodiest year of the Vietnam War, and I never lost a man. And that's the thing I'm proudest of in my whole life.